When you do that without a structure, people talk about pay. They're going to go tell their closest friend that I just negotiated $10,000. And then that starts the discussion of why her, why not me? You need to build a team that you can take vacation and feel like you can take your hands off the wheel. You need to empower them to be able to problem solve for the majority of your business issues.
Today, we're tackling the people side of business, which is moving from a culture of constant firefighting to one of strategic leadership and sustained growth.
I think that if you can bring those things into balance, whether it's your marketing, your sales, your HR strategy, really investing in your people and seeing them grow, what you need to do to be competitive.
Hi everyone, this is Maheen and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast. Today we're tackling the people side of business, which is moving from a culture of constant firefighting to one of strategic leadership and sustained growth. Because for many SMEs, human resource can feel like an overwhelming maze of compliance and conflicts, but it doesn't have to be that way. Joining us is Paola Accettola, the CEO and Principal Consultant of True North HR. Paola is a seasoned HR professional with over 25 years of experience. She's known for her analytical approach to crafting equitable HR policies that enhance employee engagement and recruitment. And under her leadership, True North HR equips business owners with the knowledge and tools to drive organizational success on their own terms. And today, we'll discuss the launch of her new fractional HR services, the importance of structured compensation, and how to master recruitment in a competitive market. So without further ado, let's welcome Paula and dive in. Paula, we're very pleased to have you on the show today. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Very well. Very excited. I know the intro was quite a mouthful, but we're very excited to break it down for our listeners. Now, Paula, many small business owners, they feel they aren't big enough for a full-time HR director, but they're clearly struggling with back office complexity. Tell us, how do fractional HR services give SMEs this expert support without that full-time cost?
I think it's important. I think it's important to say, number one, I'm also a small business owner. So when I think about fractional, I think about the fractional support we get as a small business as well, whether it's accounting, whether it's marketing. We too don't have the budgets nor the need to have a full-time person in-house, but we get so much value from those relationships. And they really do shape our business and how it evolves. And then when you think about the people side of your business, as your business gets more complex, most business owners can tell you the people side of it starts to take on a lot of time. And it really detracts from you growing your business. And every small business owner knows that you should be working, on your business, not in your business. So our fractional HR services really address that need for, that strategic HR partner that's going to be a part of your business at a fraction of the cost. Now, the benefit of that is you get we describe it as you walk down the hall and it feels like you're walking into your HR department. That's really the way we position a fractional HR service. And you get all of the benefits of having, that executive HR leadership without the cost of having an in-house HR person. The other thing is you get to diversify the skill set, right? You hire one person, they come with one skill set. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's terrific. But they don't necessarily have the skill set of a very diversified team like we would bring to the table, which is why I think our offering is so beneficial for small businesses. We've been doing it for a long time. We just officially now have launched that fractional component of what we do at True North.
That is an incredibly smart way to scale, actually, Paola. And it highlights that expert HR leadership is now accessible to businesses at every stage of their journey. So why not take great advantage of that? Now, Paola, let's turn our focus to compensation and how rising costs and expectations are reshaping pay strategies. Please tell us what compensation mistakes hurt retention, and how can pay drive performance?
That's an excellent question. So I would say the number one thing that we see around issues that drive pay up is lack of structure around pay. Also, small business owners thinking, hey, I need to react to the market. I need to do this. I'm going to lose people without really recognizing the value that they bring. Oftentimes we think as small business owners, oh, it's not the same as working for, a large corporation. It's not the same. I can't do all those same things. There's a lot you can do, and there's a lot of value that potentially is not measured by dollar signs that bring a lot to people in small businesses. And I'll say that the number one problem is I react. So I'm a business owner. Somebody comes to me and says, hey, I want to go and work for so-and-so, and they're going to pay me $10,000 more. Okay. That's never something a small business owner wants to hear. But the truth of it is, you need to quantify the value of what you're bringing. A lot more flexibility, a lot more growth opportunity because you're much more hands-on. Probably a lot more of that camaraderie within the team. So there's a lot of value that's added there. But what happens is they react and they may say, okay, Jane Doe, I'm going to give you another $10,000. When you do that without a structure, people talk about pay. Even though we want to say they don't talk about pay, they do. They're going to go tell their closest friend at the company that I, just negotiated $10,000. And then that starts the discussion of why her, why not me, why this, why that, my job is valued here. And so the biggest mistake they get is, hey, we're too small to have compensation structure. We're too small to have transparency. We're too small to do the things that a larger corporation would do, when in fact you're not. You really should start at a small level, defining why you pay people the way you do, doing a small market analysis to understand why they're being paid, and being transparent with your people as to why you're paying, and really being clear about the additional value adds that you're offering as a small business owner. So I would say that that's really the number one thing we see, is that reactivity versus being really proactive with your compensation structure.
Wow, that's a vital reality check. And it proves that equitable and transparent pay is the foundation of a long-term employee loyalty and performance. So thank you for highlighting that. Next, let's shift your focus to why finding and keeping top talent has become a major growth challenge. Paula, how does your recruitment help SMEs attract and keep that top talent?
I think you need to know that your people strategy is your business strategy. So when you go out and find somebody, oftentimes people react to recruiting, right? Oh my gosh, somebody left. And they're not strategic about the way that they bring people in, nor are they strategic about when they hire them, what they do with them. So I would say that our recruiting practice is more holistic in its style. It's definitely targeted small business in the way that we structure our recruitment, but it's more holistic in that you start retention from the moment that you post that job. Because everything that's contained about what you're offering to them, how you're offering, what is it going to look like, how am I going to succeed in this organization, what do you have set up for me? Those things need to be answered before the person starts in that role. And we really partner with organizations to define what that looks like. We do a lot of market analysis too. It's always included in anything we do from a recruitment perspective, is to say, how does your pay, how do your benefits, how does that compare to the relative organization, and where are you going to sit? So if I'm a candidate, one of the first things I'm going to ask is, what's in it for me? And what is it going to look like when I come to work for you? And people are way more savvy, let's say, than they were 20 years ago when I entered the workforce. They're going to want to know, they're going to do their research. So it's really important from a recruiting perspective. One, you define, how is this person going to fit into my organization? What do I need at this period of time? Not just necessarily I'm filling a body to fill a body. Two is, what am I going to do from a comp perspective to ensure that they're whole and compete with the larger organizations? Because I will be competing. There's no question about it.
Right.
But I think that people underestimate that there are actually a group of people who like to work in small business. There's this notion that people all want to work for large corporations or large companies. They don't. There is a huge group of people who love small to mid-size. They love the camaraderie. They love the smaller field. They love less of a hustle. So, you need to know to tap into that market. And that's what we do well, is that we tap into people who like that work environment. And then it's really to define, what is it going to look like when they get there? What is my onboarding going to be? Not just here's a job, figure it out as you go, is how am I going to ensure that you're successful once you start here? What is it that you're looking for? And how do I really ensure that I've listened to what you're saying through that interview process to ensure that we have that there for you? And then when they're there is really to understand, are you committed to staying? What's going on? How are things going along the way? Is there anything I can do to support you further to ensure that that retention strategy is there? There's a bit of a short-sighted feeling, especially when you're a small business owner, that, okay, I'm just going to let them do what they're going to do and kind of take my hands off the wheel. Opposite. You need to stay committed and close to those people, or have somebody in your organization who's committed to doing that, whether from a fractional perspective, to ensure that, that person is very much engaged. And if they're not engaged, helping them exit in a way that you have a really good strategy to bring in somebody else to replace them.
That is a powerful competitive edge right there, Paula. And it emphasizes, right, that strategic recruitment is about finding a cultural fit. It is not about just filling a vacancy. Listeners, if you are tired of feeling like an HR firefighter, then please learn from Paola Accettola of the True North HR about how to delegate with fractional HR, why clear compensation systems are your secret weapon, and the roadmap to recruiting high-performing team that allows you to lead instead of react. We'll take a quick break here. Please don't go anywhere, because when we return, we'll dive into how leaders can move beyond constant firefighting and build teams that truly take ownership.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep, healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah, well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep, that's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's jump into how Paula helps founders shift from reactive problem solving to confident strategic leadership through clear systems and accountability. Now, Paula, let's kind of look at how leaders can remove owner-led bottlenecks by building clear systems. Tell us, how do you help owners move from firefighting to team ownership?
Now that's, it's funny. I have firsthand experience about it in the first years of my own business, and obviously client experience. And we often as business leaders think we have to solve everything. And if you find yourself in a situation where you are solving for anything, you've not built the business in the way that is going to be sustainable for you in the long term. And why I say that is, you need to build a team that you can take vacation and feel like you can take your hands off the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
You need to empower them to be able to problem solve for the majority of your business issues, for the majority of things. Of course, as a business owner, you're going to stay on the pulse of your numbers and, operations and making sure that things are happening. But if you have to stay that engaged in your business and you feel like you're always there, you're bottlenecking, I hate to say it, it's more to do with you than it is to do with your employees. And it's a bit of a wake-up call for business owners to say, wait a sec, I need to pause, do a bit of organizational design, really understand where those bottlenecks are coming in, and either really research systems to help me do that, or research where I'm getting involved that I should be really developing my team. Like I said, your people strategy is your business strategy. It's people who bring your business to life. And therefore, you need to be investing in those people to make sure and give them the autonomy, when deserved, of course, when deserved, to be able to take the reins and have you step back out of your business and really refocus on growing it. right? And on those strong operations and growing it into the next phase.
Absolutely. And that's such a transformative shift as well, Paola. And it confirms that clear systems and a role definition, they are what actually buy a founder back their real time. Now, looking ahead, let's kind of shift our focus to your vision for more progressive Canadian workplaces. Paola, what is your long-term vision for True North HR?
I think our long-term vision has been the same since, we started True North 7 years ago, which is to bring that practical HR advice to small business owners, because I think people underestimate the value of having a great workplace. I think you and I can all say that when we work in a great workplace where, there's equitable policies, you feel valued for the work that you do, you feel that you're evolving in your career, the owners listen to what you're saying, they really appreciate the value of work that you bring. There's transparent compensation policies. You said very clear defined roles. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. There may be some variance in there because no system is perfect, but it's clearly defined for me. That transforms a business. And I think that people underestimate how much, we focus so much on operations and the finances, but the people side of it is your business strategy. And the more that we as True North HR from a long-term vision perspective can bring that value to our clients, the more we see the shift starts happening. The more we see those retention rates rising, the more we see, less complaints around pay and less complaints around, unclear policies. So our long-term vision is to continue to support our business owners, because nothing makes me happier than seeing success for our business owners. It's, as we pray for blessings for ourselves and blessings for our owners, because we all know how hard it is to run your own company.
Absolutely. Well, that's an inspiring mission, of course, and it proves that empowerment and innovation, they are the keys to long-term prosperity for any Canadian business that is out there. Now, this was a great conversation. Thank you so much for all the expertise and insights you brought to this conversation today for our listeners. Now that we wrap up, if there's one key message about building people-driven growth, what would it be?
You need to start with your people. People often start with their operations. And I'm not saying that those things are not important, because I don't think that any one aspect of your business holds any higher importance than the other. I think that if you can bring those things into balance, whether it's your marketing, your sales, your HR strategy, those are all important. And like I said, as a business owner, I see it. They're all very important. But focusing on your people and really building those strategies and being intentional about how you do it from the start, whether it's, progressive policies, whether it's understanding how AI is going to play a part in your business and being transparent, whether it's pay equity and pay transparency, performance metrics, really, really investing in your people and seeing them grow, stay with your business or grow out of your business, which are all equally fine. But really making those investments at an early stage, to me, really diversifies those business. And if you really truly want to be competitive in that small business space, that's what you need to do. So my key message would be is make people strategy, a cornerstone of your business.
That is powerful and a very actionable message. Thank you so much, Paula, for being here with us and for sharing such great vision with the audience. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And that was an insightful conversation with Paola Accettola, the CEO at the True North HR. We explore the benefits of fractional HR, the secrets to better recruitment, and how to build a business structure that lets you lead. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Please be sure to subscribe for more expert insights. Visit CanadianSME.ca for valuable resources. A special shout out to our partners, UPS, A1 Global College, ADP, and Google for their ongoing commitment to empowering small businesses in Canada. Until next time, please keep innovating and striving for success. We'll see you in the next one.